Hello, this is Dear Damson, and today we are going to do a fun little cupcake. And again, I'm going to go through it pretty fast, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you get notifications for my future videos. The cupcake is a couple of simple shapes. We have a trapezoid on the bottom and curving the bottom and the top sides, kind of making them like they're smiling. And then on the oval on the top, I will create this slanted, connected, weird looking triangle pieces or drops that they look more like drops. And then for the candle, we have a very elongated rectangle with a triangle on the top and a drop for the fire. And now I'm going to start filling in the space. I left a few little spots, which are kind of like ovals and circles on the frosting, and that will be our sprinkles. And I am doing the top part of the cupcake a very light pink and mixing obviously red and white and making it super transparent. So I want this part to be very, very pale. So I'm not using a lot of color with that. And for the actual cupcake, I'm using a little bit of brown with ochre, yellow ochre, and that will give us that really beautiful, yummy looking color. And I will just put in the color without making my surface wet because I'm dealing with a smaller surface, and then with a wet brush I'm gonna run over and take part of the colors away, just like what I did right now on the scallopy end. I added brown and then I'm wiping it gently. For the sprinkles, I keep to just normal colors. We're just doing red, yellow and blue. That will just pop out and make it perfect. Of course, we're going to add a little bit of a shadow, so if you're doing the little sprinkles, you can add a little more color on the bottom side of the sprinkle where it's touching the frosting, and less color on the top, and that's going to give you more three-dimensional look. And the whole time I'm pretty much using wet on dry, so my surface is dry and I'm adding the color to the surface, and then I am getting a clean brush and taking some of that color around, but I have a lot more control when I do that, especially with small objects. For the candle, I did kind of slanted lines to do this perfect candle look, and I'm just using red, and the rest is going to be white, but not really. So you're gonna see what I'm gonna do for the candle on the top towards the end of the video. And constantly I am putting color and taking away color with a clean brush. So every time I'm taking the color away, I do clean my brush, dry it gently, and then I go back in. So for the cupcake, or for the cup on the cake, I am doing lines right on those lines, and then I am going to go with a clean brush, and every time I am doing a new line, I'm going to do clean brush and go right in the middle, and that is going to soften the edges on those purple lines, and transfer some of that color to that area. So that pretty much is going to repeat all the way till we're done with the bottom of the cupcake. We're gonna add more color on the scallops on the bottom and the top, and that's just gonna give a little bit more weight to the cupcake. And I'm just using the purple color that came with this little tiny set. And pretty much that was it. It was super easy, and you see how that became very three-dimensional. But we're going to add few more things to it, so stand by for that. But it's super easy and fun to do this. I will have the traceable for you on my Facebook page, and you can go to the links below and you can find the link from my Facebook and you can grab it there. It's absolutely free. It's just for you to have fun with that. and let me know how your cupcake turns out. So I added a little bit of bluish purple, but it's more blue than purple because our cup on the cupcake is purple, so I went a little bit more blue for the shadow underneath. I'm testing here because I'm going a little bit faster if my area was dry enough, because I'm adding tiny bit of that purplish blue that I added on the bottom of the shadow right on those lines, but very vague again, and not all the way through the whole line. Some of them have a little bit more weight on the top, a little more paint on the top, and some of them have more paint on the bottom. And I love to throw brushes around. That happens way too often, so I left it for you guys to see. No big deal. Sometimes I create problems, but this time was all good. And for the bottom shadow, I still did wet on dry. My surface was dry, and then after that with a clean brush I added the water around and kind of moved the color and softened that edge. So it's very vague shadow, but pretty much I'm using a lot of water after I apply the color to soften those edges and make it very light. Trying to add a little bit more shadow, and the shadow on the bottom is kind of slanted to one side. And of course softening the edges again with a clean brush. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the top. I added a little bit of yellow on some of the lines on in the frosting, and also I'm getting a little bit of a blue, and I'm gonna add that to the white part of the candle, just because it's going to create again more three-dimensional look. So I have it right, the blue is right underneath the red, and the flames is started with a orange and then a little bit of yellow on the top before it dries, and tiny bit of almost like a dot of red right underneath. But pretty much that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to subscribe and let me know how yours turns out. I would love to hear from you. Enjoy, and I will see you next time. Happy painting.